Welcome to Western Wisconsin Journal. I'm Meg Heaton, and for almost 30 years, I was a reporter for the Hudson Star-Observer. And I was privileged throughout that time to write about the important work of Operation Help, a grassroots community-based organization that has served those in need in our community for more than 3 decades as well. My guest today is Barb Van Loenen. She is the vice chairman of the board of Operation Help and a former school board member in Hudson, as well as she served the community in a variety of capacities over the years. Thank you, Barb, for being here. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Maybe before we get started, you could give us a little background on Operation Help and explain the mission of the organization to those who might not be familiar.
Sure, I'd be happy to. So Operation Help, as you mentioned, Meg, has been around for a very long time. Many people in Hudson will recognize the name. Operation Help actually serves residents across the entire county, St. Croix County. And our primary work is to support people who find themselves in a financial emergency for whatever reason, typically lost jobs or at least lost pay. And they're unable to pay their rent, or perhaps they're struggling to pay their utility bill, or even to have some modest car repairs done on their automobile that helps them stay employed. And so that is what we do by and large. We do have a physical facility in downtown Hudson in the old courthouse, where we can provide, residents of St. Croix County with a gas voucher if they need a little gas in their car to get to work or to a job interview. And we also have some emergency supplies. We know there are folks who are living paycheck to paycheck, and sometimes we can help them just by providing a modest laundry voucher so that they can clean their clothes. And we have some toiletry supplies, undergarments, and more recently we added diapers to that supply list. So families with babies can come in once a month and get diapers.
And the organization operates primarily on volunteer help, right?
Almost exclusively on volunteer help. We do have a case manager who gets deeply involved with our clients, and we recently, because of the growth of the organization and the size and scale of the work ahead of us, we added a part-time executive director last year. It turns out to be very timely given the work that we're doing now.
Oh, I bet. And then there is also the annual Christmas campaign, right?
There is. Many people in Hudson will know Operation Help because of the annual Christmas campaign for kids that we do each December. And we have this wonderful process where families who need a little help at Christmas in buying gifts for their children can sign up. And we have hundreds and hundreds of sponsors in the community that sign up to buy those gifts and sponsor those families. And it's just a marvelous experience, yes.
And Operation Help has filled a need that really there isn't a lot of this kind of help across the county, is there, Barb?
In fact, particularly when it comes to things like gas vouchers, car repairs, and rent assistance, we are the only agency in our county that can do that work. There are lots of other great agencies that do other things. But in terms of preventing homelessness and helping people stay in a working automobile, we are the place that they call.
And I think that's been the strength of Operation Help over the years, the evolution of the organization in response to the needs that you guys have identified. So
absolutely, yes.
Really highly of that. Let's talk now about this strange situation we all find ourselves in, the COVID blues. Could you talk to us a little bit about the role that Operation Help is playing in that? And I understand you are part of the Hudson COVID response team. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. So first of all, just to start off with, because of the work that we do, we knew when we started to see businesses shutting down that we were going to be on the front lines for people who maybe for the first time ever found themselves financially strained. And so our board and some of our volunteers very quickly put together our response as an organization. And what we want to make sure that people know is that Operation Help is open. And we have modified how we work with clients a little bit, but because much of the work that we do with clients around financial assistance for rent or utilities or car repairs can be done online or via the telephone. The process works well in an environment where you want to stay socially distant from one another. We have also managed to keep our resource center open during our core hours each weekday with a very skeleton crew of volunteers and doing things a little bit differently. But we recognize that we are an emergency assistance organization, and so we want to make sure that we're there for folks, particularly at a time like now with what is happening in the economy. So we also have tried to be responsive to emerging needs. And for us, that looks like two things. One, Operation Help has modified temporarily our eligibility guidelines for rent assistance. And so we're telling people where under normal circumstances, we would ask them to wait 12 months between calls. At this point, we're telling them to call and we'll see if we can help them, even if we just provided some assistance within the last 12 months. This is a particularly challenging and unusual time, and we want to make sure that people are able to stay in their homes. And then we were approached by the group that the task force, this 54016 task force that has created the Hudson Community Coronavirus Response Team. And so Operation Help's role in that really is to provide some of the back office operations, matching client needs with volunteer opportunities. So, yeah.
And then one of the other things that Operation Help has always done is been a font of information about resources that are available to people. And I'm assuming that's
it is. It is. We continue to refer clients. In fact, I was in the office today and made a couple of referrals. And we're partnering now that the local United Way has a 211 response. So we're partnering with them to make sure that we're making use of the depth of information that they have at the United Way here in town.
And then in terms of, you mentioned that clients may need help more than once in the 12-month period. But are you also running into people who have never had to ask for help before?
We are. In fact, we just had, I personally was in the office one day last week, and yes, we are getting folks who have never had to ask for help. One of the things we want to make sure that residents across the county understand, if you've never been in this circumstance before, there are multiple resources out there that we want those families and individuals to know about, and so that they can ask for help and they know who to ask for help. And a good place to start is United Way 211, but there are lots and lots of organizations that are working to try and help families and individuals get through this particularly difficult time.
And in terms of, again, the services that you can provide people, are they the same as what you mentioned when we started out, or are there,
Yes, we have.
What are the,
right?
Is there
so we have not changed our program services at all. So it's still emergency rent, car repair, and utilities. Again, that can be done over the phone. It can even be done through our website. And then if we're just encouraging folks that want to come to the resource center for a gas voucher or a laundry voucher or diapers, just call us ahead of time. Let us know when you're planning to come, so that we can make sure those supplies are ready to go for you. We'll bag them up. We're just simply not allowing clients inside the resource center so that we can protect the safety of our volunteers as well as those clients that are coming to visit us.
Obviously, this is putting taxing the resources that you have, and I know that you guys work very hard all year long to get support and raise funds for this. Where are you sitting with that, and how can people help with that?
Yeah, that's a great question, Meg. We anticipate that we will obviously go beyond what we had anticipated in terms of financial support this year.
Mhm.
And the good news is the community has been incredibly generous. So the philanthropists in our region are stepping in to help fill that void. Operation Help was lucky enough to receive an early gift from the St. Croix Valley Foundation's COVID fund. And that has helped us get started, and we'll need more. And for anyone who is in a position to help give, the Give Big campaign kicks off next week. We would encourage folks to give there or come directly to our website. We have a donate button. We believe that we will see a dramatic increase in the demand for things like rent and utilities and car repairs over these next few months as people are out of work.
Sure. And can you just, for people who might not know what the Give Big campaign is, could you elaborate on that a little bit?
Sure. I'm not an expert, but what I can tell you is that it's a regional program sponsored by the United Way. And folks can give online, and I believe that they could designate their gifts to a particular organization if that's how they choose to give. But we really want to encourage people to use that Give Big program for giving this spring, and it comes at a perfect time during all of this, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then as you mentioned, can donate on the website, and that website is
the website for Operation Help is literally operationhelpstcroix.org, and there is a donate page. If you go to the website, you will see it.
Okay. And in terms of other than monetary donations, are you taking those, or is there anything people can do there, or would it be better to just give the cash?
The cash is great, and probably the thing that we think about most right now. But I will say that we have been lucky enough to have folks around the community donating diapers and pull-ups for young families. It's been difficult the last 60 days to source diapers, and particularly pull-ups. So if anybody wants to make a donation, just give our office a call. That number is 715-386-1300, and we'd be more than happy to accept their donations of new in the package diapers.
And what about volunteers? Are you in need of more volunteers, or are you kind of, like you mentioned, a skeleton crew, but is there something else that you can do?
Yeah, Operation Help's model is sitting down and talking to clients on the phone or face-to-face. So we are always looking for volunteers. We do have a training program that we put folks through. So if anyone is looking for a great organization to become a part of, they should give us a call. We can tell them a little bit more about what that commitment might look like for them, and whether or not our organization would match with their interests from a volunteer perspective. But yes, thank you for the question.
Do you anticipate, we don't know when this is going to end and how it's going to look, but do you anticipate that you'll be running the Christmas campaign this year?
We sure hope so. We have not made any plans to change any of our programs, particularly that far out, and it would be a lovely thing if we get the community to come back together again for the Christmas campaign this fall.
That would be nice. Is there anything else that I haven't asked you about that you want to talk about?
I think we've covered a lot of ground, Meg. I really just want to reiterate again, Operation Help is open, and people can call us, or they can get on our website. And if you've never needed emergency help before, give us a call and we can at least help you get started, or call the United Way's 211 number. There is help out there for folks that are struggling.
When you say the 211 number, do people literally just dial 211?
211, yes.
God, that's amazing. Barb, could you talk about where the location of the resource center is, in case people don't know that?
I can, sure. The address is 901 4th Street. It's in downtown Hudson. For people that have been around the community for a number of years, you might recognize the address as the old courthouse or the old library. Depends on how long you've been here. But we are in that building on the second floor. No appointment is needed. We run office hours from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Monday through Friday. We also have one evening that we're open. That is Thursday evening from 5 p.m. until 6:30 p.m. And you could leave a message anytime, and the volunteers who open the office up the following day will return your call.
Barb, because I know you have had a long history with not only this organization, but in service to the community, what is your kind of takeaway from all of this in terms of the way the community has responded to this?
Yeah, it's really gratifying. I mean, I feel, personally, I feel very challenged, just imagining what folks are going through who have been impacted by all of the businesses that have been closed. But I am not surprised, frankly, by the way the community has stepped in to help fill the void, whether that meant they were giving financially, or they're organizing some drives, or they're helping to deliver food, or whatever it happens to be. It is a community, and it's what has kept my husband and I here for 30 years.
That's great. Us too. So thank you very much, Barb. And again, the information on where to contact Operation Help and their services will appear with this interview. So thank you very much. It's good to see you. You look pretty darn good considering.
Have a good afternoon, Meg. Bye-bye.
You as well.